Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Do Bonsai, to another absolutely windy, windswept day that we've got here today. Today we're going to have to do some rescue work on the Dawn Redwood. It was sat on the side in its pot and it did a kamikaze dive, and yeah, the pot's in about 17 pieces and the tree is basically just left with a little bit of the base of the pot where it was wired in. So I have been pot hunting. As you can see here, I've got a few pots from some local people, and there's the remnants of the pot that committed Harry-Carry, and it's a shame because it was a really nice pot, and I do think there's probably just too many pieces there to try and recover it and have it back, but it was a good pot, that one. But the idea now, what we're going to do is this pot here with the jades in, we're going to lift out all these jades, repot them into some little plastic pots basically. They can go off to other people, anybody who wants one. It was a nice little forest that we had going, but we can repot those up into some little plastic pots and send them out to anybody who wants one, because I was running very short on the cuttings that have been made. You can see the wind is absolutely picking up. This little bit of where the side greenhouse is, it absolutely is like a wind tunnel. The roof of the cool store box has gone. Everything's just falling and flying. So I think this side of the house we're going to have a lean-to greenhouse that I'm going to build and put in, and a little door on the front to go in and out of, so that everything can be protected from the wind, because the damage caused over the last 2 days with these the winds that we've had have been quite catastrophic. You can see there we've got plants just laid on the floor, and we've decided just to leave them for now, because every time we pick them up and try and tie them down, they're just flying on the floor, and yeah, it's not good. So let's go and get the Dawn Redwood, and we'll strip out this pot of jades, get them potted into some little pots ready to go off to their new homes, and we'll repot into this pot for the Dawn Redwood, which is slightly bigger, so it should be a nice slip pot into this, and let the Dawn Redwood recover from its little ordeal that it's had. So here we are in the greenhouse, out of the wind. I've commandeered Kay's greenhouse just to quickly do this slip pot repot of the now bare-rooted Dawn. It was due to be repotted, or it is due to be repotted in spring 21. So we're going to just slip it into the larger pot and still do the repot in spring of 21. But before we do that, obviously we're still in strange times, and I would just like to make sure that everybody out there, you know, that you're taking time to look after yourself and you're being well and keeping well. But also especially my fellow YouTube bonsai enthusiasts, an absolute massive thank you to you guys for carrying on the good work and carrying on putting the content out there. So Nigel Saunders, of course, Heron's Bonsai, Peter Chan, Mick Bonsai, Back Garden Bonsai, Jarhead Bonsai, Bonsai J, all the channels that are out there, Adam Levine. There's lots of you guys. I'm going to have forgotten and upset somebody. We Are the Bonsai Supply, Bonsai Empire, Bonsai Mirai. I subscribe to all these channels and I absolutely love watching the videos. It has been a really strange time over the last 5 to 6 months. The COVID situation that we've all been in and lived through has been, you know, very difficult for a lot of people, and work for me, I've not really had the time to water the plants, let alone make videos for you guys out there in YouTube land. But you know, Nigel and Bonsai Jay and Jared at Jarhead Bonsai and We Are the Bonsai Supply and all those guys have, you know, kept churning out some videos. Peter Chan at Herons, and yeah, they filled, you know, some quality time up for us guys that have needed that bit of input. And I'm sorry that I haven't been one of the ones to be getting videos out there. I've been desperate to get some work done, some bonsai work, but the time's just been against me with the COVID situation and the fact that, you know, people on furlough and whatnot, and me being the boss, I've had to carry on working and carry on doing everything as much as I can, along with other people that are around me. So anyway, that's all that. I hope you all are keeping well. Let's get on with the slip pot of the Dawn Redwood. So we'll start pulling out the jades, and we'll just put them over to one side. I'm hoping that they'll lift out. In fact, we might be able to lift the whole thing out. Yes, we can. And I think this soil was actually pretty good soil. You might have seen the last video that was done where the soil mixture, the clay particles that I got, they weren't great. You know, they were going into a mush and going into a really poor consistency, which Nigel found out. I sent him a jade that had been potted up with just a little bit of that clay particle inside, and it had all gone mushy, and it was a little bit difficult for Nigel to wash the roots off of that jade that I sent out there. And yeah, it's not been great stuff. But this was pre that packet that was obtained, and I think rather than breaking all that away, I will just leave that as a clump for now, and start breaking it up and putting it into the smaller pots outside of this video. I don't think you guys particularly want to see that. So here's the Dawn Redwood, which you can just see the little bit of pot that's left on the bottom. It is wired in to the base of this pot, but we're not going to be saving it, so I do have some cutters to cut the wire so we can get it out of this pot and free it up. It does have some drainage screens in there. I think what we'll do is we'll do enough work to remove the wire, but not too much work as to need to totally redo.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, nobody was asking you. He's always butting in. Right, we'll pull the wire through. That's it. So that's the wire out, and it was probably due to come out because I think it was just beginning to mark across there. And we'll pull out a few of the little weedy bits that are in here. There's a couple of things that are just growing up and out of the soil, and I'll just go and clean up this pot, and then we'll look about slipping it in there. So the pot's all nice and clean, and we have some drainage screens in the bottle. We have some drainage screens in the bottom, and I'm just going to put a thin layer of soil in the base. This is a mixture of akadama, perlite, and some soil mix. We've done away with a lot of the clay particles that were being used, purely because I can't seem to obtain a very good clay particle solution. So we're going to be leaning towards either the non-toxic cat littery type stuff, or the akadama, which I'm leaning towards, or some other solution, but soil is also a really good solution, standard soil, potting soil, and you can obviously buy the pre-made bonsai soils, although that can get quite expensive as you go along. So we'll just try that in the pot, and that actually sits quite well. I think we just need to take a little bit out. We'll give it a try the other way round. It seems to just be leaning to one side, so we'll move the soil around. And that seems okay, so we'll just get some more soil and we'll drop it around the edges. We'll just get it raked into the gaps. Make sure that it goes in nicely. Some more around these other sides. Just make sure we're getting into those side gaps nicely. One more scoop will be more than enough. And that seems to have gone in nicely. It probably will take a little bit more. And then we'll get some water and water it through. So we'll just come in with the water, make sure that that new soil's nicely watered through. The existing soil was already nicely watered, so I'm not worried about getting too much water in there. But at least if we get a little bit of something into the new soil, any roots that go that way have got a nice bit of moisture to be encouraged by. And then we'll be repotting this spring 21, so we're in August now, so by the end of the year we'll be starting to think about what repots we've got to do, and then in March, April this will be coming back onto the bench and be fully repotted, and the nice bit of root work to do. One of my favourite parts of bonsai. working on those roots, raking out those roots. Very, very therapeutic, doing it and also watching it, I find. So that's coming through the bottom now. So there's plenty of water getting through. We'll put it somewhere safe out of the wind. I might even leave it in here while it settles down, and report back on it in a couple of weeks and let you know how it's getting on. So for now, once again, I'm Scott Winard. This is Let's Do Bonsai, and sooner than before, we'll see you in the next video.